Alright, what's up yins guys, time for another video. I noticed that on the TV news that it said the weather is going to be a little bit better. It's supposed to get a little bit warmer as we speak. I didn't even need a fucking coat this time. Anyway, I'm going to try to make this video without jumping subjects because this can lead into a bunch of other specific stories about specific people. And I have scrapped videos before because I've got off track and started talking about a particular person. I can do that as we go. But this one is going to be about how no matter who you are, okay, where you're at. And this is also going to address a couple people that accuse me of being on drugs, that leave a comment and run and they don't answer me back how you figured I'm on drugs. And a lot of society will accuse you of being on drugs for being this way, for having a smart mouth. And I'm actually going to address some of those people, but then there's a couple of different, I said in videos before, there's a couple of different people in different walks of life and workplace. We're mixed with people, okay, that are doing drugs outside of their work or used to be on drugs. And I want to talk about, this is not just drugs, and this is, I'm going to put in parentheses too. My mother that was very scripturally correct, knew the Bible left and right, and knew all about the Jewish feasts and all the scripturally correct, but yet she screamed, swore, and chain smoked, and was a type of person though too. That even when you were living in the house, you paid beyond what you promised, or you cared about trying to get a house running, trying to take charge of things when they're necessary. And when you're getting older, a lot of other parents too. Well, this is why a lot of these other kids are on drugs, and then you can't even tell these other people my age when they had trouble. It always starts at home, right? And like in my other video, one pretty cool guy, I see him, a commenter once in a while, understands how they're making things against the law or offensive. And I want to put that in parentheses. For example, with me and some of these other people that you run into out there, that it starts where maybe they lived at home, they were certain family members, and everybody else that is into religion the right way and may be fanatical a little bit, they understand the concept that they wanted people to be, strong and smart, and but yet there is in some households where some of us came from, you're not allowed to be strong and smart. For example, I don't want to go and make it like I'm bashing my mother or parents, but I make a whole video about that. For example, they're supposed to be scripturally smart. We all agree that you get into these conversations, whether you family members that either scream, swore, or chain smoke, and yet Bible thumping, and you're the devil if you disagree with them on stuff. And okay, they're feeling out, whether it can be this friends of yours that, you're trying not to offend it, get pissed off at you later on, and you're not trying to bash, and you're trying to, everything you do physically and to be strong and smart, you know what I mean, is offensive to them. But yet, you're offending these people, but you're fucking agreeing with them, right? And you're not allowed to speak all intelligent and say, yeah, the world is evil and the world is fucked up. Whether it's the friend of yours that does more drugs than you, or does drugs or whatever. And I don't do drugs, but there's always people that, get high once in a while, right? And you get in good conversations with some of them, some alcoholics, right? Man, you can have some good conversation with some of them, and it's going back and forth, it goes too well. But then there's some ones where, okay, you got this crowd somewhere in some workplace, they were all used to be in rehab or in recovery, and you don't know, but you figure it out like in some workplace, and they're saying about how the world's fucked up. And well, you get some of these people, like when I used to imitate Guns N' Roses, and I smoked a bandana and I had these mirror sunglasses, walking around with a cigarette all badass, and you get some friends that were women or girls that do that. You understand that concept, but then you see these people that walk around like all badass with a cigarette, right? But then you see them all with a cigarette, this different posture, like, There's some rule you're supposed to be perpetually nervous and upset. And even whether, if you were watching this and you were in some crowd that maybe does more drugs than you drinks, you were called always, you think you're smart all the time. You're not allowed to be smart, but there's always this crowd, right? That they talk about how the world is all fucked up, and there's this intelligent one. They're almost like the alpha of the group. But somehow you're supposed to always stay a notch down. Even if you're in a religious fanatic crowd, you have to be. There's this thing where you don't know this right away. And matter of fact, if I talk about this, I'm called paranoid, right? But you start realizing it right then and there. I think that I'm agreeing with them. I'm actually, some people you made friends with have good conversation, right? But you're not allowed to, like my own mother was like this, like, okay, you're not allowed to agree with them. There's this indication, right, that, there's sometimes you're trying to help people or you're either agreeing with them, because a lot of times when people talk this stuff, people like me, it gives me the perfect excuse to just yammer about my shit. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I have the attitude when I get into these conversations, people like, right on, the world's fucked up. And part of me is almost like, a version of that movie. I almost want to make different versions of that movie, where in that movie Falling Down with Michael Douglas, where it don't have to be the Nazi skinhead guy. You can, for one, the conversation where he goes, I'm disagreeing with you, and then later on it's like, it feels good to exercise one's rights, does it? Free speech, freedom of religion, right? It feels real good to exercise one's rights, don't it? Well, you can have versions that take out the Nazi guy and take out maybe this one alcoholic or this one ex-drug addict or this one parent, right? And you're not even trying to be an asshole either, but I want to make a separate video later that it has something to do, has a lot to do with the stuff that I'm practicing, which is a good thing. And matter of fact, my mother hated. If you're watching, one of them good commenters that are watching this, oh shit, there's so much shit to say that goes into the background that some of you guys probably already fucking figured out. Or some of you guys that get pissed off that like what I'm saying figure out. But no matter, there's these there's this element, okay, I want to make a video totally geared toward it, but I'm saying a ballpark thing right now that I should make a separate video and title it this to talk about this one subject. Okay, and I had a negative comment a whole bunch of times, especially geared toward my exercise videos, a little bit of my philosophies. Some person on there gave me a comment that I'm literally offensive to people who are trying to overcome an addiction. Well, that's what this whole dang video is about too. It's like, if you're anything you do is offensive to somebody that's trying to overcome addiction, that's actually supposed to be a positive solution, right? There's this code where, like, even my own mother, she read the Bible, knew it left and right, but then she screamed, swore, and chain smoked. And you're trying to help them out when they're depressed, and you're saying, right, the world is fucked up, right? But yeah, and you're some asshole that thinks he's all smart. You're just trying to help them out. So what the fuck is about that, When did it become when you're trying to help somebody and you're just by agreeing with them, it's offensive? I mean, there's some code now where the bar is supposed to be down. That's part of this society. The bar that a lot of people profit from, whether either selling of drugs, cigarettes, antidepressant medications, and you're supposed to be not offensive to a particular clique now. And you can be accused of attacking every single person that's trying to overcome an addiction and all that. And you're trying to introduce some good ideas, you know what I mean? And it's, why is all that shit offensive? You're showing, when you show people things that people don't want to know, and then there's this person that's in these other groups, like you've got friends, and you got to be careful not to offend them. That there's that one that's, you can have some crowd in some workplace that, like I work these assignments on a damn personnel service, which it's kind of an adventure. I'm gotta be next to the same fuckers all the time, you know, and you make some good friends. You wish you'd go back to this one. You run into some other friends that you knew. It's cool, but you get some other people working in these places where they used to be, they're in process of rehab and different things. There's this code. There's certain things you're not allowed. How come? I always thought that something empowering was supposed to be a good thing. But yet, how come they want everybody to stay where they're at, and then if you walk, you're not even allowed to walk around or talk more confidently? It's offensive. Why is that? You know what I mean? But anyway, when when you jump back into things like people like my mother, for example, I'm trying to help, and they're in that mood. They're discouraged, right? They're swearing. They're having another cigarette, right? And you're trying to help, and you're agreeing with them. And yes, even with your own mother, you're the one with the smart mouth when you're trying to help. You are taking advantage of the fact that to project your arrogant attitude. Yeah, you're fucking right. The world sucks, and you accuse like your own. Sometimes you'll get parents that are trying to read the Bible, and the reason why they scream, swear, and chain smoke is they're clinging on to certain kind of hypocritical ideals. Not that they're all bad. There's some good ones out there in religion, some better ones that I like, but they're still clinging to ideals, and a society don't fucking like them, and they're not accepted by. They never fitted in with the church, but anyway, I'm trying to say, if you got this far in this video, is the people, you notice that the people that get mad, like you're not allowed to be smart or teach anything or project anything, even if you're not trying to teach it to them, you're not forcing it down their throat. If you appear anything, you show anything to people or do anything in front of people, or the wrong kind of agreeing with them in the wrong way, it's offensive. And you're trying to help somebody when, like, say they're down and you're talking about how the world is fucked up, you think that when it's not them into them good conversations, like I said earlier in the video, that even with certain these alcoholics and some people that smoke some reefer, you get into real good ones, okay? When it's not the good conversations and they get mad, I don't care if it's a fucking parent or anybody or whatever too, when they start getting mad, you know what that means. It took me fucking 12 minutes to say that, but I want to make separate videos. It means that when you're trying to, instead of gratifying each other and saying, yeah, right on, they're trying to fucking drag you down. There's some rule that there can be, any kind of crowd like that, you know what I mean? There's a rule like you got the alpha of one crowd. That, I don't care what it is. I'm not saying anything particular. And attacking any particular thing, but you start to smell that right away when everything you say and even do in front of people, even though you don't have a conversation, it becomes offensive, and you start learning how certain people are. They get offended because there's this rule, like the one person in a crowd, maybe they drink more than you, whatever. You notice that they do all that talking, and the other people out there do like a little bit, and you're not even trying to do that to be an asshole. I'm one of them people that sees that shit right away, and I do it on purpose sometimes when I know that people don't like it. But I admit, an asshole like me, I'm seeing more of this. I'm not always doing it on purpose. I actually make a mistake and think that they're good people, and some of the ones that I tell you that are good sometimes, and I think that I'm helping, and I think that I mistake them for one of them people that are cool, that are getting good conversations with them. When they start getting mad, there's this code, you're supposed to be a notch lower than them. Why is that? You notice that right away. But yet I'll get accused of being on drugs for having a smart mouth, but yet because the other people on that you're not away from, that there's people that play that card, but But, and I don't know, some of them, I don't hate all them people that would even make comments on my videos or outside in the world and accuse me of on drugs, because yes, some of them are that way. But the people that'll say that shit, whether it's on a YouTube video or out there in the world, they don't even fucking know me. They'll presume because maybe they're around that. But they don't fucking, when they say that shit, they don't fucking know that I'll offend some of them fucking people. They'll accuse me of being one of them because of my mouth. And there's this other code out there too that I want to get into this later in workplace, about workplaces. And there was a boss reading this policy, and he turned up his nose and made a sarcastic comment one time when I was at a temp job in some FedEx place. The list of being on drugs, and he didn't even agree with on them. No wonder people fucking say this even on YouTube videos or out there in the world, right? Even if you're not on any drugs. Being too smart, they call argumentative, walking around too cocky, or even when somebody's telling you something, turning up your nose or too cocky, or that's actually in some policies in some workplaces. You're on drugs, like literally you walk around literally walking around too confident. That you shouldn't be argumentative. You should do your fucking job. As far as job wise, do what the fuck you're supposed to do, and start with chain of command, like Vin Diesel said in the one of his movies. Chain of command. I ask you to do something, you do it. End of chain. Work wise. But then there, but people when make policies for certain workplaces, they define the argumentative. The definition of being argumentative, expand that definition. You're not even arguing. But if you project yourself or present yourself walk around any cocky, any kind of a way, or too smart, and for example, you obey their rule and then go beyond the call, and if you do it in a posture like you're being smart, because if you suspect that you're being fucked with at a job and you do it a little better, and like I said, if you're walk around like you're too smart, any kind of aware, I'm not even bashing the bosses, other people that I'm talking about that you're next to in a workplace, you're supposed to be there to make their job easier and not harder, and vice versa, they too with you. And you get a click in some workplaces that you go beyond the call. I don't want to go into too many specific stories, as example, but different people, some of them drink more than you, or all that, or some people were on this side of the tracks, and they're all, if you go beyond the call and you look like you're being smart, like they'll do shit like, because they don't care for you that much. They'll be passive aggressive, and they're trying to find some wrong in you, whether work-wise or some other kind of way. They don't like something about your character. And you in the workplace, you live and do what you can, so you can't be accused. And even back, people in workplaces are like this, and people like matter of fact, my own mother, for example, if I want to go back to about her, not to go on about her, but she literally told me it's a crime and unbiblical and totally wrong, and it's a mental problem if you do things and they accuse you of not being from the heart and not want to be right if you do stuff beyond, so you can't be accused. What the fuck is wrong with doing something going beyond so I cannot be accused? You're supposed to cringe to everything. I mean, there's some ways you got to be one way or another anyway, and you're trying to be fair. And but put it this way: if you're a fanatical Christian that doesn't like me, or if you're one of them nicer Christians that are pretty cool, or if you're some other kind of moralist that's kind of okay with me, the reality of it, you're not being an asshole all the time. You literally got to live your life so you cannot be accused. It doesn't mean that you're Okay, a list of other kind of things you can get accused of. Because you got friends of a little bit of everybody. I mean, you can be accused right away of being a devil or being. They can say that you're. A whole list of other kind of shit. I don't even want to get into. I mean, you have friends of whether they're women. You got friends that are other races and that are really good people. And I think if you're like whatever color you are, you got to live your life so you cannot be accused. And if you have that attitude, you can literally be accused of inside in your heart, you're actually in your own heart or mind, even accused of being racist inside, and you're just living your life, you're not accused. But people of all races among each other, I mean, because you could be, of all races, you can be accused of being a criminal, be stereotyped, even though there's people of all our kinds that have bad intentions. And like I said, they all, whether it's your own kind or whatever, or other people, or whether it's women, men, and different kinds, there's all kind of people of your own kind and others that when you're trying to be intelligent and agree with them, the minute they get mad, that means they're fucking trying to drag you down. You're not supposed to help each other out and empower each other. Now it's not cool to do that. You're supposed to be down a notch from them, and you're not allowed to be the smart one and defend somebody. And it also will hurt the feelings of the people that are emotionally down, and it'll hurt the feelings of the people that are, this person, you don't know all of a sudden that they were overcoming an addiction, or some of them you do, and all of a sudden anything you do or say in front of people that's empowering and you're not being an asshole, all of a sudden you can look like some kind of asshole, and there's some kind of thing you're supposed to walk on eggshells now and actually mentally and then even physically go down a notch, or less somebody will be offensive. Everything that there's like all of a sudden this line, it's called fucking equality extremism. It's even though it isn't told outright, it's evident in everything when you unwittingly offend people.